Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Cole Kakamis and welcome back to the channel. So for the past couple weeks, I've been using the M1 iPad Pro and pushing it to the limits. Whether I'm editing photos, taking notes for upcoming YouTube videos, or just mocking up some UI designs, this thing handles it all like a champ. If you haven't already, go ahead and watch my full review that I made of it when you get a chance. With that said, I realized the one thing I had to try it on here is gaming. Now, the design and the display of the 11-inch model is the same as it's been the past couple of years, so really it's the M1 chip that makes the difference. But I'm extremely satisfied with the picture and the 120Hz display on here. In games that support it, you can feel the butter smooth animations. I'll be testing out a bunch of different games in here to see how it runs, looks, and how fast the battery drains. So let's get right into it. A couple months back, we got support on iPadOS for the new next-gen console controllers. If you've watched my channel before, you may have seen the PS5 in the background. I know it's not there today, but really I just love the look of both the console and the controller. It just feels super comfortable in the hands. And so I've been using it quite a bit to play games on my iPad. I was really pleasantly surprised at the overall responsiveness of it. I didn't notice any input lag and the whole experience felt very smooth. But hands down, the most annoying part of using it is that the on-screen buttons in games don't actually match up to the PlayStation ones. So I'm always mixing it around because it'll want me to press X, but then that's actually square on play. So it's a mess. So first up on the list is CoD Mobile. This game is a really good benchmark for showing the power of the iPad because this is pretty much as close as you're going to get to console level gameplay. I had the frame rate settings maxed out, and then the graphics was set to the high setting because you can't actually have the graphics all the way up and the frame rate all the way up, so you have to pick and choose which one. The graphics are really good, and you can definitely feel the butter smooth frame rate. I don't think it's quite 120 Hz, so if you know, drop a comment. But honestly, I think it's a little overkill for the iPad. As far as gameplay, at times it's actually too easy. I'm not saying this to brag, but some players are just awful. And before you rush to the comments saying it's because I'm using a controller, I decided to be a little cheeky with a sniper using on-screen controls, and let me just roll the tape. Oh! About a month back, I started playing Clash of Clans again. I don't even really remember why, but I've honestly came to really enjoy it. It was actually one of the first apps I downloaded on the iPad, and it runs super well. It supports the 120Hz refresh rate and looks really good on the display. Now, Asphalt 9 is one of those games that I feel like is just necessary to include when you're talking about mobile gaming. It looks absolutely fantastic and is a load of fun. I tried it with both touch controls and the DualSense controller, both of which are great ways to play. But I think I prefer the touch controls in this case. Hands down, my favorite mobile game, maybe even game of all time, is Minecraft. I can remember playing the hell out of this on my iPod Touch. I miss those days. Obviously, the graphics are what they are, and it runs really smooth. I know I'm saying this a lot, but this iPad really is a great experience so far. What I love is that when you connect the controller, you are actually playing the console version of the game. Like, it's same across Windows, PlayStation, Xbox Mobile. They're all the same version. And so really, you're getting the best experience on this iPad. Now, onto another game I've burned hundreds of hours on is GTA San Andreas. I feel like this is also just one of those killer mobile games. The story is insanely good, and you have a huge open world to explore and engage in whatever shenanigans you please. Of course, because this game is so old, the graphics aren't great, but I think it's a prime example that the looks aren't everything. Besides that though, the gameplay is awesome, it feels great, and is definitely worth the $7 or so price tag. Played Inside is a phenomenal game with great graphics and amazing sound design. Now, I wasn't able to play a ton of this game because you only get the beginning free, and then it's $7 for the rest. However, I think it may be something to actually go back and try in the future. Supercell, the people who made Clash of Clans, also have this game called Brawl Stars. I'll admit that I'm not very good, and I don't really understand exactly how to play, but that's besides the point. What I can say again is that I'm sure you're noticing the pattern. It looks so good on the display. Something about the colors and the animation of it just really pops. Now, for the last game is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. There's a bunch of them out now, I think maybe up to like 6 or 7, but among all the ones I played, this is my favorite. I remember being terrified of this game a few years ago when it was big, and even more so on this big display. What that means is that the jump scares are just, nah, they're not good. I don't think I'm gonna be going back to this game. So overall, gaming on the M1 iPad Pro was an excellent experience. Games run and look fantastic, so I think that whenever you're not, editing photos, designing, whatever the main thing that you do on this iPad is, it'll serve you well when you just want to sit back and relax. Now, two things I want to know are battery life and heat. So first off, it's worth noting that I did have the Apple Pencil connected and charging, as well as the Magic Keyboard the entire time, but I'm not sure exactly how much that affects it. With that said, I noticed that this drains battery probably twice as fast when gaming. After about a half an hour or so of usage, I did notice that the back started to get a bit warm, but not to the point of like a MacBook Pro when you're like watching YouTube. Now, I'm not even joking when I say that, not with the new ones, but like my old 13-inch 2017 MacBook Pro, you could literally cook an egg. The fans get so loud, it gets so hot. Just make sure you're watching one of my videos when you do it. But anyways, that just about wraps up today's video. Let me know if you've been playing any games in the iPad Pro and if there's any I should try out. As always, to everyone who's made it to this point in the video, I want to say thank you, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed and you want to see more tech content from me in the very near future, be sure to drop a like and subscribe with bell notifications so you're notified next time I upload. Thank you and take care.